Hey guys, it's Ron. Welcome back. And this week's episode lands right in the heart of Pride Month. And honestly, I just wanted to keep it real. And because Pride is not just about like rainbows and parades, it's about like personal freedom, especially when culture and queerness collide in complex ways. So today's convo is gonna be with one of my friends, Ashley, and we'll be talking a lot about her life, what being queer means to her, also what pride is for her. So let's get started. Hi, Ashley. Welcome to Just Real Talk.
Hi, thanks for having me, Ron. Very excited to chat today.
Yeah, likewise. So, first of all, congrats on your engagement. It's huge, and I'm really happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Very excited as well.
Okay, so let's get started. I have some questions for you to begin with. How do you feel about the whole engagement thing? I mean, it's huge.
Yeah. Oh my God. I had like this life plan for me. Like I wanted to be married at 27.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know where that number came from or like why I wanted to be married at that age specifically, but I was like, I just know like monogamy is for me. And I was like, I guess 27 is, you're an adult then. I don't know. But I remember meeting my partner and telling her that, and she was like, okay, like you're this age now, and if you want to be married by 27, you don't want to like be in a relationship at this point, so like the math is not mathing. Oh, you're so right. So like I had a reality check at that point, but no, it's good. I'm 28 now, so not married yet, but I'm very excited to be engaged. I really love my partner.
Close, really close.
I'm not there's no strict timeline anymore, but no, I'm very lucky to be with someone who really fits me, and I just love her so much. And we'll get into more of that. I don't want to be too sad.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah,
don't worry about that.
So I'm excited. I'm excited.
I'm so happy for you. And
are you looking to get married, or do you like monogamy?
Oh my God! Like right now, I'm at a point where monogamy is the way to go for sure. I don't know about marriage yet. I do believe about commitment. I think I'm somebody who likes to take my time, get to know the person, so be friends first, possibly, and then friends who date kind of thing. So yeah, definitely one of those people.
You just make a lot of friends then, and then one of those would be
my future partner.
Yeah. Okay.
Course, yeah.
Okay. Nice.
That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How long have you guys been together, and how did you guys meet?
So we met on 2 occasions, but we've been together for 4 years now. It'll be 4 years.
Nice.
This year. But we met on 2 occasions. I don't know if you knew sorry, this is my stress pencil.
Is that like a ADHD thing?
I don't know. But I bought it like a long time ago, and it was a lot of money.
Really?
For Parkdale, yeah. I think it was like $12 for this.
For that pencil?
Yeah, for HB2 stress ball thing.
Oh.
But I had to bring it up because like if you saw me like playing with this thing, it just looks kind of weird. So I'm like, okay, I have to say something about my pencil, my stress ball. Yeah, do you know the app Her?
Yes, HER.
Yeah, Her. Yeah. Like just exclusively for like women loving women, or like women presenting loving women. And so we matched on Her. I think it was like 2019. No, it probably was like 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so she has like a bunch of names, and like the name she was going by in Her was like Gabriella.
Okay.
And so like we got off the app, was texting, and then like we just like stopped talking to each other.
Okay.
Just like at a random. I was like, hey, whatever. You just go on with your life. And then I think like a year and a bit after that, I saw her on Hinge, because I remember the face.
Again, okay.
Yeah, I remember the face and the name, because obviously we were texting for a bit.
Yeah.
But then her name wasn't that name on Hinge. It was Aisha, which is her first name.
Yeah.
And so my first message to her was like, that's not your name.
That's a nice move.
Yeah, that was the opening. And then we just got food, and then the rest is history. But yeah, that's basically like how we met. I think like everyone, at least like 75% of people you meet are couples now, or probably like have met online or things like that.
Yeah.
This is the easiest way to connect with people.
You've been in other relationships, right? So what made this relationship feel different from the ones you've had before? Like what made you be like, okay, she's the one?
That's a great question. As I like mentioned earlier, like I didn't want to be in a relationship. I feel like commitment, especially just like observing what I've seen, is like A, very hard, and then B, if like something happens, it's like you've committed, so it's like you have to stay in just whatever situation. I've been reminded that that's not the case. Like, you can always like leave a situation, but I don't think that's like what I grew up with.
Yeah.
And so I did not want to commit, but I think just knowing her for a long time and seeing like the kind of person she is, I was like, okay, like I felt safe to just like let you in. I felt safe to commit, and I think overall it was just, I don't know if I ever like let myself open up to someone before this much.
Yeah.
So that was a very good sign. And so I think that's what a big differentiator was. But then also like, I don't know, like you have to meet her. Like she's great. Like
Yeah, I know she's very like chill. Like yeah.
Yeah, I think you have met her actually, Ron.
Yeah, like once, right? Like honestly, like if we go into that, maybe we could go into that into another episode. I think it was just like once in person.
Yeah.
Like that night at the queer mingle party.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah. No, she's great. Extremely smart. Yeah, like you said, like very like chill. Like we very much complement each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. Again, like I think it's just like a lot of like just an like innate feeling of like, okay, makes me feel comfortable, allows me to be like my full self. I feel like, I don't know if you feel the same, like you don't get that with a lot of people.
Oh yeah. Like feeling safe. Safe and being able to be your full self and being accepted for your entire weirdness, quirky self and everything. Yeah, because some people might be like, that's too much, or okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Like
she
you think
accepted all
like
of you.
Create all the icks if you like show your
Be cringe. She
yeah,
accepts your
but like
cringe.
I could just do whatever, and like not that I'm like horrible, but like I like fart, and like that's not the worst extent of it, but like I'm just saying, like you
that's safety.
Comfortable like so early on, you know. But yeah, that safety is like very important, and not to say like people that I haven't been with have not shown that, but I just don't think like I felt that it was safe. Or sorry, not to say that they wouldn't allow or they wouldn't show that it was safe, but like I just like did not feel safe, or I didn't get to that point.
I think I get what you mean. It's also like something just clicked and it was just the timing worked kind of thing.
I think timing does play a part of it too, but I think also we just work so well together. Like it's
what's your star sign, like both of yours?
I am a Taurus and Aisha is an Aquarius.
Okay.
I have no idea. I don't have no idea about astrology. But does that work?
I'm getting into it more now because I do think like certain aspects of it, like your sun, moon, rising sign, all those things, like slightly affect. But I don't know. I guess it's all like a myth too. I don't know. But yeah, I know.
There's also like Western astrology, and then like
Vedic astrology and all that. I don't know. I've been looking into it. I don't know. There's so many things on Instagram, and every single time I speak about it to somebody, it shows up on Instagram, and that's how I get to know these things.
Right. Okay. So maybe you can enlighten me with more of your research.
I will. I'll send it to you. Something.
More of your Instagram research.
I'll send it to you. But yeah, Aquarius and Taurus, nice. I have met Aquarius people. I think. I've dated Aquarius people. Yeah, very in the head, logical people.
Yeah, like very like more introspective, like more intrinsic. Yeah, introspective. Yeah. No, I agree.
My sister's Aquarius too, so yeah, I'm Pisces, but yeah.
I was gonna say, did you see the new queer ultimatum, the new cast?
No.
Yeah,
I didn't actually.
They like announced it, and like so many cast members are Tauruses.
Really?
I was like, what is that? Like, I don't know actually if they're the one that's like giving the ultimatum or if they're like the ultimatum receiver, but it's like interesting. Yeah.
Okay. I think I really watched like the first one. The one. First queer one where, there was a very messy relationships and, all those
Did you watch the whole season?
I did watch the whole season.
Okay, there's going to be another season coming out. I guess all the gays
it's so stressful. I don't know. I
don't
get the same thing.
It's very overstimulating, but that's why I love it.
Yeah, it is. I guess it's because like we're queer too. Like it's extra stressful. I'm like, oh my god, like okay, I need to take breaks.
It's extra tea. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's too dramatic.
It's so dramatic. I agree. Okay, we have to move on.
Okay.
You'd said something about like your culture affecting the way you view commitment. Do you want to go deeper into that, like how culture affects, because you both are like different cultures here, right?
Well, I don't think it necessarily like our two cultures coming together like affected my perspective. I think just growing up, and I don't know, maybe the other, because I'm Filipino, maybe the other Filipinos can confirm if this is right, but like just like separation is very like, it's considered very taboo.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and like almost like failure. I think it actually probably is derivative of like the Catholic Church.
Yeah, my culture, like my brown culture has that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, so like just like separation is very taboo. So it's like if you're in a relationship, and I saw this growing up, it's like if you don't like the situation, if you're stuck, like you're legit stuck, like you can't go anywhere. And so
Divorce is not allowed kind of thing. It's like,
yeah, it's more just like taboo, like people will like talk, and it's like that's another thing with the culture is like you care so much about what people think of you. And because you're so like enlaced in the community and like you lean on the community, and it's like you do something that will, I guess, is different from just like the rest or the norm, then you're basically like ostracized. So I think like separation and divorce kind of falls into that. Like whatever, like being queer and stuff like that, even though in the Philippines, like they have one of the highest percentages of like LGBTQ population.
Really, that was gonna be my next question. I was just like, I mean,
yeah, it's like so prevalent there. I don't know the exact statistic, and there's so many people in the Philippines. I think there's like 100 million. I'll have to find that stat. I'm curious now. But like there's still just like pockets of like being gay is bad. And again, I think it's because of like religion. Which is like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like an oxymoron if you think about it, because
I mean,
it's a gay country.
It is, yeah. I mean, I guess as times change, people will eventually change. I mean, like a lot has changed already. For the most part, I think people just don't care unless, you know, it gets to a point where it's like dangerous. Yeah.
We're talking about culture. Like I went on a huge tangent, but that's basically it. Like just like commitment just seems like such a hard thing, especially because like commitment is commitment, you know?
Yeah,
like
it is a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, are you one of those people who are like, okay, this has to work? Like if we're committed, like this has to work, versus like we'll try it for as long as we love each other and we wouldn't push. Like, are you one of those people, or you're like, no, we have to work it out till the end of times because that's what commitment is. It's a choice.
Well, just based on like what I was describing before, like I think I'm very much like this, like I'm very stubborn and like hard-headed, and it's like commitment means like this has to work.
Yeah.
But I think as like I've been more so in this relationship, like we would talk about it, and it's like, oh my god, like what if you change and you become like this weirdo person in the next few years, and like divorce is a thing. So I'm like, okay, like, you know, I wouldn't have ever considered that before, and not that I'm considering it now, but I'm just saying it's like you're not constrained to anything. Like you have a choice. But I think like personality wise, I very much am like, I need to see it through. I need to make it work. I think it's very much like, and I don't know where that comes from. I think I'm just very like stubborn that way.
So yeah,
and obviously, like I really love my partner, so I'm like, this works.
You don't see it going any other way because you both like actively choose each other.
Exactly.
That's really beautiful.
Where are you at in that spectrum?
Honestly, the more like, you know, I've been in relationships where, you know, I'll be completely honest, I've been in relationships where I knew there is love, but I just knew that we were just becoming poles apart. Like there was something was just not working out. So the best thing would be like, if that, like, you know, if it's not working out, just, you know, we should naturally, I'm one of those people who believes like if somebody don't want to be in a relationship, like let them go kind of thing. If I'm not happy in a relationship, I'd appreciate my partner like set me free too, because I think I'd rather leave when there's still love versus stay and be resentful of each other and just try to make it work. Because I've seen that, you know, growing up where they don't even like each other, but they for some reason are still together. I've seen people, like our parents' generation too. I've seen people like do that, and I just feel like I'm so much more happier when I'm my true self, when I'm able to be my true self. And if I'm not able to be my true self and with the other person, like it shows. And eventually, you don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a happy place with or without a person. So I'd rather, and plus I always tell everybody, like, I'm so happy right now. I've cultivated a life for myself that I've, you do so many things that makes you happy, that if anybody's coming into my life, like I am very picky. So if anybody's coming into my life, I want them to make me more happy. I don't want that happiness to go down, whatever I have. Like I just want that to go up. So show me new ways of being happy, but don't take the happiness that I have right now. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. Like it's like you've cultivated this type of happiness, like your baseline.
Yeah.
And anyone you let in, you only want them ever to add and not take away, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So you're saying like love is not enough in a relationship.
Love is one of the factors a lot. Yeah. But something I've been like also like understanding. It's like you said, it's a commitment. But I think like that's why I think you need a lot of things. You need love, you need friendship, you need safety, you need transparency. And I think main thing is like accountability, being able to
communication.
Yes, communication, like being able to repair a relationship or repair, like if there's a small fight, that shouldn't be like the end of the relationship, like you should be able to sit and like talk with the other person, like be in a mature way kind of thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of those factors do like I think matter to me. So baseline is like friendship. It's easy to form a connection with somebody, like but I think there's a lot of other factors that go into place. But let's move on. Was there like ever like fear or like hesitation around like stepping into your queerness?
I think I always knew something was different about me. Ever since I was
like you were extra cool.
You could say that, or like just extra socially awkward, or like extra.
I was gonna say the reason I said that was like being queer is extra cool.
Now it is. Before, back then, when you didn't have any like representation or any definition for nothing, it was interesting. But no, I remember like being in grade like 4 or 5 and like not being able to talk to even like the person beside me to ask, or the girl beside me to ask for like an eraser. And like, oh my god, yeah, there were like other obviously insecurities, but I think that just like added to my whole like, I don't know, I thought I was like very like introverted growing up, but because I didn't know how to talk to like these girls at school, but it just turns out I just had like a crush on everyone. I don't know.
I went to an all-girls school too, so
oh
I know
what
you feel.
That's brutal.
That is so brutal, right?
Did you know when you were younger?
Yeah, I had crushes on people. I even told somebody.
So you like you could define it when you were younger.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I could.
And I just coined mine as like social awkwardness. I didn't know. And then
you mean okay?
I just thought I just did not know how to talk to people in general.
I would be best friends with people who I had no attraction towards, in the sense like just like anybody who I would have a crush on, I would not talk to, or I would be like mean to or whatever.
Mean.
But not like that kind of way. But I think going back to what you asked, if I knew for sure, I think I thought like, oh, maybe when I grow up, it's like everybody's like this. I thought like, oh, maybe everybody feels this way. But then it never went away. That's when I knew, okay, so this is what it is. Yeah, that's when you know, okay, this is not going away. It's just becoming like more and more intense.
I'm trying to think if I had like an aha moment. I knew it was like me connecting the dots when I was in like high school. I think maybe I was like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly like what took place to be like, that's what that is. Like what you were saying, like, no, it's not going away, it's this,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, no, I don't remember. But
you remember? Is there like a particular person you thought was like, oh my god, this person's cute or something like that.
I literally thought like
Everybody's cute.
I literally thought everyone was cute. Like, I don't think I had like a proper conversation with like a girl at school until I was in high school.
Oh, really?
Like, I was so well. Okay, I'm trying to think of like
No,
my.
what about like
elementary
friends?
school
Did you not
friends
have?
and stuff.
Yeah, did you not have friends at
I
all?
was more closer with a lot of guys.
Oh.
Yeah, and then like I'm just trying to think with like the girlfriends that I did have. I should ask them because like
You
I
should just
have a
ask,
few on
yeah.
Snapchat. Like I'm like, okay, like how was I? They probably don't remember. Like it probably did not matter.
I mean,
But
if you guys were good friends, they'll probably remember. Like my best friends, like remember like tiny details about me, and I'm like, did I do that? They're like, yeah, you did that.
those are good friends that can
Those are
like
good friends.
remember
I know.
just like your history.
Yeah, they
I
know you more than you know yourself.
yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got here, but
I don't know. I was good though. It was good. Whatever was that. Okay. Why do you think like love between like women can feel like so passionate, so fast, and like depth? There's a lot of depth. And how do you why do you think that is?
I think it has to do a lot with our like just ability to empathize with the world around us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like we can feel feelings, and once you get two people in the room who like each other and like feel all the feelings, I think like it's very like intense. I don't know if you
Electric.
yeah, it's very intense. I think that is one thing, and even thinking of like from a platonic perspective, like yeah, I honestly just think just girls just get each other, and and if you compare like guys to guys, like I don't think guys get guys the way girls get girls.
They think they do, but I personally think they don't.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I don't know what it is exactly. I'm sure there's like science to it in the brain or something.
I see that. I see that with my family too, like how the guys interact and how the girls interact. It's very evident.
Yeah, I feel bad for the guys because it's like girl friendships are way better. Like again, I didn't have many girlfriends growing up, but now that I'm like gaining more in my life and not even that like more queer friendships.
Yeah.
It's just so much more fulfilling.
Yeah. Like you said, like me and you, right? Like the greatest example. I think some of the things I appreciated in you was like some things I would post in the story and you would reply back and like, yo, like I can help you with that, or like let me help you with that. And I think I've always felt that you're like really like genuinely caring, like this person's like genuinely caring, like
That's so nice.
Yeah, like that's true though. That's true. Like I think one time, I think there's a lot of instances, but this one time I think I was trying to like sell some tickets or something. You were just trying to help. I knew you were just trying to help. You were like, yo, I could ask some friends, I could do this. I was just like, the fact that you offered itself is like very sweet of you. Like it kind of like gives the message that you're a really kind person. And and also like when I started my podcast, you did offer me a lot of this video stuff and a lot because you work in marketing too. So I really appreciate your help with that. And that is queer friendship and queer relationship. And to add on to that, it's so easy.
Yeah.
And I hope like I can't say that, but I hope every woman experiences it. But again, like then the whole world would be like queer. But that's selfish.
I think it is queer. I think just like everyone has an.
It's in the closet.
Yeah, no one has accepted it. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I do believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Like I think my next question was about like how it's easy, like emotional connection is easy for like a queer couple versus a hetero couple. Do you have any thoughts on that, or it's basically the same?
I think in terms of just what you were mentioning, in terms of like getting those boxes checked of like, do you have communication? Are you accountable to one another? Will this person go out of their way to help me? Like I think in terms of like those things and compatibility, like I think queer couples have it easier. But I can't really I can't generalize because I'm almost only speaking about my experiences and like what I've seen around in my imminent friend group. So I can't really generalize. But I think if we're talking from like a worldly, like how the world works, and if you're considering like the patriarchy and whatever misogyny, then like being a hetero couple is like obviously way easier and like less stressful.
They have a roadmap to everything.
They do. Yeah. Get married, get the house, get the kids, and then your life is done. Then you can die peacefully. I don't know. I'm just saying it's way easier to go around the world being heterosexual and even like bisexual
bisexuals
in a heterosexual relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I also think that for them, I think like we said, it's not just a blueprint. Being a queer couple, I think you can explore possibilities that's beyond, like, nothing's written for you. You basically have to like create your
Mm-hmm.
own path. I
Yeah.
think that makes it like all the way more scary
Yeah.
and like uncertain, and in a good way.
Mhm.
You could like always look forward to, like, okay, something to look forward to every single day type
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. Yeah, like you said, there's no playbook. Like when we first got engaged, I guess in the beginning, when it happened, people were like, "Hey, like what's gonna happen? Like you're gonna do this, you do this," and I was like, "I have no idea what I'm doing."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's no, again, like blueprint. There's no playbook.
Yeah.
So it's like
You just knew.
we
Yeah.
honestly can do whatever we want to do.
That's the
Um,
best way.
we could just take like ideas here and there, but it's like there's no expectation. So that's nice about
Yeah.
that.
That's the best way to go.
But I think you like were right about the whole like uncertainty and like being a bit more like, oh, what do I do? Like there's a lot of maybe just like confusion.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we're like putting out content and like there's a lot more of that
Yeah.
for other
Exactly.
people who are, yeah, like questioning and like going into just like queerness these
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
And it's so funny. Like, I don't think any of my other friends who are queer, like, they're not engaged. I know people in like long-term relationships,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think like any of them are like engaged, or at least they haven't told me. So I don't know. So that's a huge step, and I'm so happy for you.
Thank
Now,
you.
moving forward, yeah, of course, how do you guys like handle like moments of conflict? Because that's, I think, a huge thing for me too, like in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it would be interesting, like in any relationship, to understand like what conflict looks like for the person. Like example, I grew up in a very like strict household, so like anything I would do, I would be like I'm in trouble. So it's like anything, anytime there was like feedback, I would think is conflict. But in like my partner's perspective, like she was just telling me to like do something this way, you know. So I think like even before talking about like how to deal with conflict, it's like interesting to understand like what conflict looks like from a, like each person's perspective.
Person's point of view, yeah.
And then I think you already said it, like communication at the end of the day, like how
You have to communicate.
you have to
communicate a
communicate.
lot.
Yeah, like you need to understand like how your partner receives feedback. You got to make sure you're not blowing up on each other. Like, so go, like, if you need some space, like let them know, hey, I need like, you know, a few moments to cool off. And then from there, you guys can like reconnect, talk about the situation. And there doesn't necessarily need to be like action steps like this is that. I think it's just a lot of like hearing the other person out, like this is what happened, this is what made me feel. When a similar situation like, comes up, then you're like, oh, we spoke about this. And then again, it's like up to both parties to be like recognize when something comes up and like learn from the previous situations. And it's like, oh, look, we spoke about this, like this is how this person reacted when I did this, like let's not do that anymore. So I think it's like a lot of what you mentioned earlier, just like accountability and like the mindfulness. So I think those are like the biggest things, is like wanting to get better, being accountable, and like just being mindful and with the communication. Like I don't know, like
you literally just hit the nail on the head with that. I think you just easily explained it. One thing I also noticed is like we noticed that even this is also with friendships or family. I noticed that a lot of the times, if you lean more on the anxious or like ADHD side, I think, or if you like overthink, or if you're like somebody who are like mostly like empathetic people, like get like sensory overload, so you can sense the other person's energy. So you have to be like very like mindful of also understanding like if the other person is not regulated, or if you are not regulated, like the nervous systems could clash.
Do you think it's the person's responsibility though to like understand those cues? Because what if someone just like shuts down? Then you can't really be mindful about that.
I'm somebody who like I've learned through experience how that works, but in the moment I feel like it's extremely hard to recognize it. You always try to like see from your point of view, right? Because you yourself are not regulated. But I think the best thing to do is like, if you think that you yourself would know. I think women have great intuition. I feel that. So I feel like if you yourself feel that can I handle the situation like right now? Or do I think that if I come back, go for a walk, come back in 30 minutes, would I be able to handle the situation better? I think if one person, because I think it's energy, right? It's an energy exchange. Right now, there's an energy exchange going on between us. So I go off of your energy, you go off of my energy. So I feel like it's the same with like any kind of relationship. If I start to panic, even if the other person's on the phone, they'll get it. They don't have to see my face or anything. Like I don't probably have to show it, but somehow the other person would get it. So it's extremely important. I think I am personally one of those people who like to take responsibility for my actions or the way I am, because instead of wanting the other person to help me get there, I think it's very unfair to put the responsibility on somebody else, or like them putting on like you, or like your partner putting on you or you putting on her. Like I think that's very unfair. I think we are responsible for just our emotions. I think I also basically that's how I see it.
I agree with that in a sense there, Ron, but I think what you mentioned before is like an energy exchange, right? So if like someone's energy is like triggering something in you, I don't think it's like your responsibility to deal with it yourself. I think it's important to bring it up, and then like, from there you guys can exchange words, or like, go back and forth with like how this person has acted, and then from there, like, again, you can like, the feedback is like super important.
Do you think that can happen in the moment though if somebody's triggered? That's why I said like all you can do is like manage your emotions, because if the other person's triggering you, you can say, like, you can recognize that and say for yourself like, hey, I think we need to take a step back. That's versus saying that I think you're triggered. That's gonna trigger them even more, right?
Oh, are you okay? Hold on, I think I might have gotten it wrong. Like you're saying when you see someone triggered, then you would kind of give them some space, and then
me or them, let's say I can only take responsibility for my feelings, right? So if I personally feel like, okay, I can't have this conversation right now, like I need to like think this through, or like go for a walk, calm myself, and then come back, because I know I'll be in a much level-headed space,
right?
Versus me going into a situation knowing that I can't have this conversation and then affecting the other person.
So that's very much like you understand like how your emotions work, and like obviously if you're gonna say something now, like you probably hurt the other person's feelings kind of situation. No, I'm saying more so like if I see that someone is like affected, I would like probably bring it up and be like, okay, is this something you want to talk about now, or do you want to like shelf it and then talk about it another time?
It works.
And
If
also,
it works for you, it works for you.
Caveat. I think I would only do this in relationships that I like really, really care about. Like I want to like fix things and like get things straight right away. Person.
She really wants to.
Can you stop it?
Oh my god!
But if I don't really care, then I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna not. Like it's fine. It's not fine.
No, same here. I would only do this if I'm in like if I seriously think that I really like this person. But I wouldn't like, I'm not somebody who tries to, this kind of conversation has to happen in person. I hate having conversations over the phone or something like that, especially like big kind of conversations. And and you said, right, like telling somebody like, do you want to have this conversation now or later? I think if the other person is ready to listen, or they instead of thinking that you're not trying to blame them or something, perfect. I think that's perfect. But if you think that the other person will not understand, I would not even say like you're triggered. Like I would say like think like we should like I think we should take a break and maybe come back to it later, kind of thing.
Some people they don't even have like the emotional maturity to handle a conversation like that. So you just let it go. You're just like let
it go.
That's fine. You protect your peace.
Protect the peace. Absolutely. Oh my god, you took me places. But very important.
Care to share? I'm kidding.
Okay, going to cultures now. How was it like growing up like between cultures? I know you were born and brought up here, but it's like you still do follow the Filipino culture and stuff, right? Like, so how was it like? How was it like growing between like culture? Like,
It's a good question. I grew up very Filipino because there would be like Filipino parties every weekend and like only eating Filipino food and all this stuff. So I would say I grew up very Filipino, but in terms of like actually like understanding the culture and like practicing it, like for me, Filipino culture is literally just family parties every weekend. That's obviously not right. Like there's definitely there's depth to it.
yeah,
But yeah, my parents very much wanted me to like assimilate into like I guess Canadian culture or what they thought
Yeah.
would be Canadian culture. So like my dad made my mom take like English lessons, and so I actually like I'm better now. Like I understand the dialect. They speak Bisaya or Cebuano versus like
Okay.
the Tagalog, what most people are like used to hearing when they're like, "Oh, do you speak da da da?" To a Filipino person. It's been a slow kind of like me figuring out, okay, how great the Filipino culture is, and then like and obviously like understanding the goods and bads, like what we were talking about earlier with
Yeah.
just commitment and religion and all this stuff.
You still have like the majority of the awareness that you need from that culture, I guess, from what you're telling me.
I guess so. Like I'm definitely like proud to be Filipino, and I think that's like a big thing, and obviously like being hospitable, and I think that's where a lot of like me wanting like caring and wanting to help comes from, is from the culture.
Yeah.
But I do feel like from maybe like a historic standpoint, like I'm learning a little bit of like all the different countries that like colonized the Philippines
Yeah.
and why we're so Americanized in the Philippines. I'm slowly like learning about that, but I would say
Eventually.
I'm all right. Yeah.
You're good.
I'm not like proud to say this, but like I was not proud to be Filipino when I was younger.
Everybody to a certain degree, not Filipino, but like their culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. I think the older you get, I think the more you embrace it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely am doing that more now.
Yeah.
Like I'm proud of like not so proud of certain things. Like there are certain backward things, but also like the majority of the stuff, like the food. There's also like, you know, beautiful places. A lot of
Yes.
things I am absolutely like I'm in awe of.
Exactly.
You know, and I don't know, there's so many things. Ultimately, home is home regardless of where you are, and you make your home wherever it is with the people around you. Like, do you feel like you had to wear like different versions of yourself in like different spaces?
Where I feel like it impacts me the most in terms of like being on my toes and making sure I come like with this packaged presentation of myself. So is literally at work. Like I feel like until I on this current workplace, like I had to be very like professional and this and that and like so proper, yeah, and almost like whitewashed to a degree. But that was because I thought that was the only way like you can succeed, is if you like present this specific way and you don't share specific things about yourself. Like now I'm in like a workplace that's very like diverse and like more psychologically safe.
Yeah.
But you still go into work being like a little bit more like uptight and things like that, because you're like, okay, I just gotta make sure like everyone's happy with this version of myself, and I can't like slip up, because obviously like that holds like consequences. Like, you know, if you're not, you don't have to be like hella professional, but it's like if you're not professional, then like obviously you're gonna get talked to, and like not professional in a sense,
Really?
like you should come in time, and like obviously those are like in like professional in that sense, like that's fine. So I guess you would say I'm like constantly on like more on the anxious side at work, because and I don't know if that is tied into just like my multiple like, okay, what is that called, the intersectionality of like things, but I feel like that plays a factor. Yeah.
What do you think would happen if you present yourself like your full self, like whoever, like exactly who you are? Do you ever feel like you can do that at work?
No.
Whoever, like, okay. Why do you
I feel like you can't, like personally, I am not able to present my full self to most people. I don't know.
What about your, obviously I'm gonna say you are like fiance knows you.
No,
right?
my fiance, like, yeah, she gets everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like, okay. I used to be that.
Hmm.
I used to care a lot to a certain degree, like how I present myself outwardly, to like a certain level of like perfectionism, which I later on understood that it's not a good thing for me personally, because I just feel like I was hiding parts of myself just to be accepted at different spaces, just so I could. Because when you're like it's almost like shrinking yourself. That's why I have so much like rigid boundaries, because the more you grow and the more you accept yourself, and you like, a lot of people will fall out of your life because it was convenient for them the way you were. You fit into a box that was more convenient for them. So the more I started accepting myself and being myself, I also started having more boundaries. Even with family, I have it because they just don't get it. Like when you grow, you change. Certain things just don't sit well with you anymore. Or, some things used to be okay with me because I used to be in my people pleasing era, versus now I just don't give a shit. I'm just like, I'm gonna show up exactly how I am. If you can accept me the way I am, good. If not, like the way out, kind of thing.
There's there.
Yeah.
Straight to your left.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. That's also like part of my queer identity, I guess. The more I am myself, the more I'm able to show up my full self as my full self to like my partners, my friends and family, and eventually they'll understand. Okay, whoever does not understand, like I said.
Yeah. It's definitely easier said than done. I'm proud that you've gotten to that point where you don't care. I think like a lot of people aspire to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a work in progress, but for the most part, like I'm extremely proud of like how far I've come. Even starting this podcast was like one of them. It was just like a creative outlet to be myself and, talk to the people I like you, and kind of get to know people, in a space that's also accessible to other people. Have you felt more accepted or more othered in queer spaces as someone with a diverse like background?
I feel like I've played like all women's sports, not like specifically queer, and I have like felt othered there. Or maybe that was because of like, my skill set. I don't know. Maybe I was othered by myself because I didn't think I was good.
You're just being nice, but I think I've heard that from other like culturally diverse people too. I think that is a very common space where that happens a lot. I think it's also because I don't think it's necessarily malicious, but I also think there are certain people who might be. A lot of people who are like part of these queer sports, if leagues and all that, every single time you are in a team, you might be with like 12, 14 people. The other 14, like 13 people might know each other, like from one way or the other. They might be in a, I don't know, like a friend group or whatever. So that's how you would feel like, oh, these people already know stuff about each other. There's no way you could be like, you could be friends. You could start new with them, kind of thing. I think, that's a situation that I feel like I've definitely experienced. One of the time I went to play softball, everybody knew each other. I definitely got to know people there. They were nice, like very nice people too. But I don't think I made like friends. No. A lot of people I know, I feel like it's from like the queer mingle party, or somebody would come and like buy me a drink. This one time, like I think this is one person I still know. Cruise and Tangos. The first time I think I met them was like they kept buying me drinks. And I was like, I can't drink anymore. I can't drink, but like sweet person. They're still like on my Instagram.
What? Can they buy me a drink?
Yeah. Next time I see you somewhere, I'll like definitely buy you a drink.
Give me all the free drinks.
Free drinks, yeah. What advice would you give somebody who's still figuring it all out, especially like someone who's like juggling culture, family, or like, their identity? Because, you're like baseline.
What has been true to me in terms of like my safety net is just having a good group of people to confide in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't want to, and maybe you do want to like have this journey by yourself, but I think like there is magic within community, and so it doesn't matter like what stage of life I was at, I always had like a friend to lean on and talk it out with.
Yeah.
And so I think finding your community is important.
I agree. You need to have at least one person who actually gets you and your situation.
Exactly. And if not, like there's like so many spaces online where you can like
could
be a
always meet
part of.
people.
Exactly. Yeah. Like maybe it's not safe. Like maybe you're in a city that, you know, there's like one queer person, one gay person, and like the rest are just like in the closet, you know. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's always resources. So I think like if someone is struggling,
Yeah.
definitely like really try to lean on community, online or
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah, I think, like you said, community is huge when it comes to these things, because I think humans thrive on connection no matter what. Sometimes, like, I do tend to like tell my, whenever I have relationship troubles or something like that, or any kind of trouble, like I literally talk to my straight friends too, and like they get it, because like some of them are like my best friends from ever since I was a kid. So like those people like just truly accept me. Do you ever believe in like the universe like brings people together like the moment you need somebody?
I think everyone plays a purpose in your life.
Yeah.
For some sort of shape and form. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I do believe in that. A lot of the coincidences have happened. Like some people just show up out of nowhere, and I'm just like, okay, that's weird.
Yeah, or like you're talking about someone and like they're calling you the next second.
Yeah. Finally, like, what does queer joy mean to you like now?
Queer joy. I made it a point for me to like just increase the amount of like queer LGBTQ plus AI folks that I knew this year. And I think like that's like pretty much like joy to me, is just like getting more people in my friend circle, because I made this goal for myself, seeing it like kind of unravel and like it's cool. Like I set this intention out, and now I have like this like mini queer community like in my back pocket. Like it's so
That's
fun.
cute.
I feel like that's like queer joy for me, and just like being sorry, not married.
Married already? Engaged. Okay.
I guess like being engaged to another woman. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's very
That's awesome.
queer
Honestly,
joyful.
that's awesome. I feel like whenever I see like queer couples, it makes me like so happy.
Oh my God,
It's
me
such
too.
like
That's
such
my
good.
like favorite thing when I'm outside, is like spotting the gay.
I feel like I live in a predominantly like a hetero neighborhood.
Yeah.
I do see like pride flag here and then. Part of me is like, are you just being supportive, or are you like gay? So it's honestly like such a, and especially whenever I get to the Church Street area, it's such a like, okay, now I can like, it's awesome. It's like such a different, like the air is different over there. Like everybody's gay. So, so yeah, honestly, it's Pride Month too. So it'll be probably crazy over there every night. Very exciting. So yeah, it's been like wonderful like chatting with you and like getting to know you, and like your relationship and your version of life. And I think you're an awesome person, and I really appreciate you, being part of this podcast.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for the conversation, Ron. I appreciate it. I feel like this deepened our friendship, so I'm so happy that you invited me on. And I will buy you a drink.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, whenever that's gonna happen. Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome to hear just like your thoughts on just like community and being queer, and what a relationship needs. I think like we very much align in like a lot of values, so I'm just happy to just deepen this friendship in general. Yeah.
Anytime you need advice, come to me. I'll come to you too. You clearly know a lot of stuff, so and a very humble person, and convey my regards to Aisha and also Momo.
I will. I probably should get her from the balcony, but yeah.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And this is the Pride edition of Just Real Talk.